why I'm having so much fun dishing the dirt on the fake sci-fi industry. Now, science fiction and fantasy and traditional publishing have been a big clout goblin structure for the last decade or so. It's not about sales. It's not about good stories. It's all about your internal politics within the organization. We covered this yesterday in the fact that I've been covering the meltdown of the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Association. And when you actually search it on Blue Sky and you see what they're talking about with this, they're warning people not to read my coverage of it rather than actually talking about the problems of the organization. And it's all because they know they have egg on their face. They know what they've been doing is just something completely wrong. They know none of these people have talent. They're all a bunch of hacks who can't write. And they're destroying science fiction. Now, I've been enjoying this channel right here. This is Sean C.W. Korsgaard. I'll put him in the description below. He's got 200. Why am I not? Oh, I'm on my alt. That's why. But but he's got 213 subscribers. He deserves more because he's been uploading some interesting stuff from the writing community, from different panels at conventions. And you know, that's I get to watch this stuff and I get to see what they're saying inside the industry because these people are all so scared of me. They've got me blocked on every platform just so I don't report on what they're saying. It's so funny, and they act like I can't see it anyway. It's like stop it, stop being so scared. Jason Sanford, you're one of the worst clout goblins out there. He's the guy on the left here who's laughing with his water bottle. You know, just stop being a gosh, I don't know what's a YouTube friendly word. You guys could think of it and give it to me in the description below. But stop being that. All right. So this panel, they're talking about short fiction and science fiction, which we've covered on the topic before with fantasy and science fiction's decline. It has not come out with a new issue since last year, December. And that issue even was the first in its like majorly long history to not come out as a bi-monthly book. And instead of having the December, January book out there, they actually labeled it Winter 2024 or 2023. I can't remember. But because they were going to have that one out over the first couple months. Well, that was the last issue they produced. It just disappeared. What happened? Well, I talked to my industry insider after watching this video. And yes, I have industry insiders everywhere, guys. I have them at your short fiction magazines. I have them in the comic industry. I have them in SIFWA to give me access to your private board. Fear me. Because I know they watch this. And we're going to get into the real reasons things are dying and the real reasons that fantasy and science fiction in particular is in worse shape than every other magazine out there after I watched this video to give you a little summary of it in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. I am a #1 best-selling author myself, even though I've been blacklisted from the industry. I have a great epic science fiction space opera for you. This is called The Stars Entwined, and it's actually a trilogy right now, and it's starting my universe. I'm building a beautiful universe out of this. Actually, there's 5 books in it, 3 in the main trilogy so far, and I'm going to be spinning off a space exploration series because I'm so fed up with Star Trek that they don't actually explore space anymore. They just explore like their genders. And so we are trying something different. This is a wonderful, wonderful series, a great place to start reading my works. All of this in the description below for you guys. If you like Babylon 5, if you like Lois Bajold's Vorkosigan saga, I think you'll enjoy my stuff. Thank you guys so much for reading so far. It's been an incredible month, one of our best ever. And we're actually selling books, unlike these people, is what's coming down. And that's why they're so afraid of us, because selling is actually the worst possible thing you can do, according to these authors. That's kind of like the trad pub mantra, traditional publishing. They basically think that they should, have somebody else market for them. Somebody else should do it for them because they're authors and they shouldn't have to do that kind of work. The only thing we should do is talk about ourselves at conventions. And these conventions are dying. I don't even know how many people were in this panel, but you can tell by the laughters and applause that there's not very many people there, because how many people are going to go sit through an hour-long talk on like the short fiction market in science fiction? Not very many. I'm one of the few who actually cares about this, and that's exactly why I'm covering it for you. And you'll probably watch my coverage because it's way more interesting than these guys. So they do a lot of self-promotion in this, and not going to work very well. All these guys are short fiction people. Jason Sanford, of course, made his mark here by attacking Baen Books. and that's why he has that little clout in the industry. He sells a few short fiction pieces regularly, but he's not making a living off this for sure. But some of these are editors, and then like the reason I actually started watching this to begin with was when they brought in the gal from fantasy and science fiction. Where is she? Where are you, my friend? My diversity friend. Where's my diversity friend? Jason, stop talking. Let the black woman. There she is. Gosh, these white people white-splaining everything. Sheree Renee Thomas doesn't get a word in edgewise with these white people there. Shame on them. So this is the lady who is the editor of Fantasy and Science Fiction magazine, which I did that epic video showing that their decline, all because of her as a diversity hire, right? They brought her in because she had been editing these black future, whatever, what do they call it? Afrofuturism anthologies. And then took her into fantasy and science fiction. Now, science fiction used to have C.C. Finlay as their editor for like the last decade and more. He was actually known as being fair and actually being great towards writers and actually having a very, very solid editorial vision, which made science fiction and fantasy really its own thing. There was nothing like it out there. And you could count on the quality being very, very consistent throughout his tenure. Well, as soon as Sheree Renee Thomas came in, that quality disappeared. She started bringing in her friends, diversity hires, things like that. And people noticed a sizable drop-off. And there was a sizable drop-off in the sales as a result. But there's more going on with this. We can show you exactly what's happening through this. Here's the F&SF subscriptions, print circulation, and newsstand sales. So you can see it's been on a rapid decline since about 1996, 1998, when basically the internet took over things. There was no real need for magazines. And what's interesting is I have graphs otherwise for Analog and Asimov's, two other science fiction outlets. They're not dying nearly as badly. The circulation for Fantasy and F&SF is down to about half of what those were at this point. And it's because of one reason. Now, there are two reasons. One is the diversity element. It's just been a disaster. Now, Asimov's and Analog are not a ton better on that front, but they are a little bit better. They're marginally better. This lady's been picking very bad stories that the audience hates. She also has a reputation in the office for just not working. Her reputation at this point, according to my industry insiders, is literally just using this editorial position for clout. So she goes around and if you watch the panel that I was just putting up, she actually shows and says and like just talks about her role as this at the beginning, where she's giving her bio. But never mentions the magazine again. It's always about her Afro projects and things like that. And so you know what she's there for. She's there to race bait. She's there to grift and there to get a bunch of clout, like all these people are. And so that's exactly what's happening. None of these people are selling anything worth following, any of them. It's ridiculous. And so with this, we've seen the ultimate decline. Now, in the panel, they blamed Amazon for it. I shit you not. Now, Amazon causes a lot of problems, of course, but if Amazon is destroying science fiction sales, I should be seeing a pretty bad drop-off right now. I am not. I'm seeing my best year ever. I have not even come out with a new book, so it's not even about new releases. It is just about word of mouth of my stories from actually years past. And don't worry, we'll be coming out with books soon. But right now, I don't have a new release out in over a year. And so how am I having my best year ever if Amazon is that bad? It's not. It's just bad for them because people don't want to read this kind of fiction. People don't want to read the diversity nonsense, and that's it. Now, what they did do for these magazines is they had Amazon subscriptions available. So since these magazines had a deal with from their traditional publishers that they are subsidiaries of, they were able to sell subscriptions on Amazon that would automatically charge readers to move it to their Kindle, etc., for a while. And Amazon removed that in 2022. Now, they blamed, again, the collapse on that, but you can see in the stats right here that it really didn't collapse all that much. The subscriptions were already down. People weren't using it, and that's that. Now, fantasy and science fiction failed to actually get people on their own subscription service. Their website's like something out of 1998. It's unusable almost. And that's partially on the owner there. But, the editor's really not doing much to help them either. Like I said, there's been no books coming out, so it doesn't matter what would their sales be. It's going to be zero. There's no books coming out. Analog and Asimov's did the opposite. They actually set up a subscription system for themselves, and those subscriptions ticked back up. Now, what they complain about on this is, they had the subscriptions on Amazon, but Amazon didn't give them a customer list, didn't give them a list of people so that they could get the people to subscribe themselves. And that's that. So they don't get those automatic renewals, basically. Somebody actually go and try to click, because their books are still on Amazon. Somebody has to click and remember to go buy these things at this point if they're buying it on Amazon. Otherwise, they subscribe on their website, right? And that's what has to happen at this point. While that did hurt things, it's a short-term blip, Analog and Asimov recovered. Their sales are actually growing from the reports that I'm hearing. They're actually a little bit of an uptick. It's not huge. But because they just, treading along, doing the work, and the people there are not pushing the diversity nearly as hard as fantasy is in science fiction, they actually have something going there. Now, where Sheree Renee Thomas has screwed up is, she just brought in the nepotism, brought in the diversity, and ruined the brand because people don't trust that the quality's there. That, coupled with no subscription service themselves that they're offering, has really hurt them. And that's I don't know what's happening at this point, because it's been all year. We're about 9 months into the year, and there's no new fantasy and science fiction. So while these guys all complain about Amazon, they're really just complaining about their own sales not going anywhere. And their sales are not going anywhere just because they are not writing to market. They're not talented. They are just pushing their diversity crap and all this stuff. And until they actually get with the times and realize that people want to enjoy their entertainment as fun and not be lectured to about how they're bad people because they're white or something like that, they're never going to go anywhere. And that's the truth of the matter. So sorry, Jason Sanford. Sorry, Sheree Renee Thomas. And sorry, others with your she, her on your name tag there. I wasn't going to be able to tell that was a she, her, I guess. Was I? Let's see. We got Jason Ray Carney. I don't know who these people are other than this. But the reason is they don't matter because they don't tell the stories that resonate with people. That's the bottom line. Until the industry figures that out and stops prioritizing race, gender, and sexuality over good stories, they're never going to go anywhere. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon. And make sure to check out The Stars Entwined and the full trilogy on my space opera on Amazon today. Thank you, Amazon, for providing a platform to sell my books despite these people.